Good morning. We will give just a moment to clear the waiting room. As a reminder to those who are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are appearing or testifying before the board. We will give just another moment to make sure that the waiting room is cleared and that those who have joined have connected to audio and can hear us. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. Before I review procedural matters, I will introduce Chairwoman of the Board, Kathleen Joyce.
Good morning. My name is Kathleen Joyce. I'm Chair of the Boston Licensing Board, and today I'm joined by Commissioner Kiana Saxon and Commissioner Liam Curran.
Thank you. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly. I will call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. I will then ask who is present on behalf of the licensee, who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department, and whether there are any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify. I will then swear in all parties. After that, the police report will be read into the record, and the licensee or their representative will have the opportunity to make a brief statement, followed by questions by the chair and the commissioners. All testimony will be limited only to those individuals with firsthand personal knowledge of the alleged incident. We'll begin with the first item on this morning's agenda, calling item number 1, Boston Ballroom Corporation, doing business as Royale, located at 279 Tremont Street. Date of the incident, December 13th, 2023. Assault and battery, employee on patron, in violation of Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A, and failure to call 911 in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.14B. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
George Clevis.
Thank you, Mr. Clevis. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Detective James Walsh.
Thank you. And are there any other individuals present who wish to testify on this matter?
I have another manager. I don't know if she's having trouble getting on. She's
I'm
there
actually
she
on
is.
Judge Elizabeth. Yep.
Thank you. Ma'am, if you could please just identify yourself for the board.
Yes, Elizabeth Malakis.
Thank you. Can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Detective Walsh, if you could please read the police report into the record for us.
About 7:05 p.m. on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, Officer Green, assigned to the front desk at A1, took assault and battery report. Joseph Nunes, 11/11/81, stated he attended Royale nightclub, 279 Tremont Street, Boston, between 11:30 p.m. on Friday, 12/8/2024, and 2:10 a.m. Saturday, 12/9/23. Nunez stated he was showing a friend around the club and heading back to his section in VIP. While trying to go up the stairs, an unknown bouncer said, quote, nah, you ain't coming this way, end quote. Nunez explained he had a VIP section. The unknown bouncer replied, quote, you ain't coming this way, I ain't the one, end quote. Nunez said, quote, I ain't the one either, end quote, and walked away. At the end of the night, between 2 a.m. and 2:10 a.m., as Nunez was walking a female to the coat check, the same unknown bouncer was there. The bouncer threw hands up and said, quote, yo, what's up, end quote. Nunez said, quote, what's up, end quote. The bouncer ran towards Nunez and grabbed at his neck, causing his chains to break. Nunez stated he was falling back and grabbed the bouncer to balance himself. Another bouncer came from behind and grabbed his neck to the point where he could not breathe. Nunez stated he is experiencing pain in his neck, shoulder, and knee. The victim stated he also had a red line on his neck where his chains were ripped off. Nunez has spoke to the promoter about the incident, but feels nothing is being done. About 10:30 PM on 12/29/2023, Detective Walsh and Sergeant Detective Salucci issued a license premise violation number 17309 to Royale Nightclub at 279 Tremont Street. The violation was for employee on patron assault and battery and failure to call 911. Manager George Kalivas signed and accepted the violation. I do have a few investigative notes that I'll read. On December 19th, 2023, I spoke with the victim, Joseph Nunez, who stated the same facts as the report states. He says he does not want to press charges, but wants to be compensated for his chains that were lost or stolen during the incident, worth about $10,000. He said he spoke to the promoter, George Paoni, and Royale manager, George Kalivas. I called George Kalivas and told him to save the video and give me the names of the staff involved. On December 29th, 2023, I texted manager George Kalivas again about video. I received a text back of a cell phone video that was taken during the incident from the fight. It was a blurry, grainy video, but it does capture the end of the incident. He did provide me with the staff security names, Jamal Chambers, Kenton Bennett, and Aaron Harvey. I spoke to George Kalivas. He stated they were going through a camera upgrade and that the camera that would have captured the incident was blocked and did not capture the incident. Myself and Sergeant Detective Salucci responded to Royale and spoke with George Kalivas, checked for the cameras, and they did not cover the area that it happened at. We issued the license premise. I spoke with the staff first. I spoke with Kenton Bennett, who stated he and the victim had an incident earlier in the night where they had words about not being let through to a certain VIP area. And then again, saw each other at the end of the night, and the victim called him the N-word. Benton, the security staff, stated he grabbed the victim's shirt and the two went to the ground and wrestled until another one of the staff, Jamal Chambers, grabbed the victim off of him. Staff Benton said he saw the chain fall to the ground but did not see anyone pick it up. Staff security Jamal Chambers stated that he saw the two fighting and grabbed the victim off and put him in a full Nelson and escorted him out. He stated the victim punched him in the face during this. Erin Rodriguez, another staff, said she witnessed the end of the incident but did not see the chain fall to the ground. And then again on January 23rd, I spoke to the victim again. I showed him the video that I had received from George Kalivas of the incident, and he stated he did not want to pursue criminal charges, but may pursue the matter civilly. And that is all I have at this time.
Thank you, Detective. Mr. Kalivas, would you like to address the alleged incident? You are currently on mute. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
There we go. How's that?
Great, we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if they did know each other. It says that my security chased him over the coat check. The video showed the two of them right next to the stage. The coat check is completely at the other end of the club, so that didn't happen. And that showed in the video because it took place right where this security person was posted, right next to the stage. Detective Wall said, yeah, we provided video, and I had him talk to the witnesses. All that's, I do whatever I can to help out and straighten things out. The new camera system is in place, by the way. When we were, they finished it off, and so now I have cameras that show not just the blind spots we had, but it covers the stage area from a different angle where the lights won't blur the video out. And they also have sound, by the way, the new cameras, so you can actually hear what's going on too. It's all fully functional now. The victim Nunez, I spoke to him at the door that night because they called me down there, and I told him I could do whatever I can to, look at video, whatever, try to see what happened to his chain. I never saw a chain on the floor. There was a piece of a little piece of a gold chain there, but that was all that was found at the end of the night. The owner, George Peony, does not work for me. Does not work for us. He's a table booker, a promoter for the Big Night Live group, the clubs that they have, the ones in the Seaport area and also next to the Garden. So he contacted me. I don't even know how he got my phone number, but he wanted to see how he could help me resolve the issue. This kind of stuff, I don't want to sound like Chucky, but Telpidio, but we don't tolerate this. After this is all said and done, we took Ken Bennett off the schedule. And in the meantime, we've had we have meetings all the time and talk to staff all the time about how to handle something like this. It doesn't matter what they call you, unless you have to defend yourself. You don't go after somebody for what they they call you. They call them the N-word. What else? I think that's it. I don't know what else to tell you. We're open so much, and we have so many nights, and we do the best we can to keep things quiet. As far as the police not calling 911, this is right at the end of the night. There were police present on the street, but we were emptying the club out right at this time. So I didn't really see the fight myself. I just heard that there was something going on by the stage, and when I came out, everything was all done. So I didn't know about this and exactly how things happened until I went downstairs and talked to Nunez, and by that time the street was a mess, and we were getting all the clubs were emptying out. So, but there were police present. I told him he's more than welcome to officer right up the street right there. That's it. That's what I got.
So,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, sorry, in the police report, it says the unknown bouncer replied, "You ain't coming this way." You're telling me he didn't work for you?
No, the promoter.
Okay, so tell me about the
Oh,
promoter.
The promoter who was calling me was blowing up my phone. George Peony. He works for Big Night Live, but
What did he have to do with this?
Nunez booked. Kind of went through him to get a hold of our promoter. He books tables there a lot. The
Okay.
thing is, this guy went out of his way to get to me from different angles to see what I could do to help him out.
Okay, how many security bouncer staff did you have working that night?
Jeez, it was kind of a busy night. 15 to 18.
Did you take any notes after learning that this happened, or from that evening?
Yeah, I was reading off a lot of the notes.
Okay. Will you share the cell phone video with us?
Yeah. Detective Walsh has it, and I have it still on my phone.
Okay, and I'd also like to see a plan of your current upgraded video system.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd like to see where the cameras are. I just want to note that the audio is illegal in Massachusetts. You can't record someone's audio without their permission, so you might want to turn that off on your system. Your videos would not be admissible if you're.
I love this is great because I didn't want the audio in myself, and I didn't know that. So
Okay.
thank you very much for that. I'm going in there later on today anyway. I'll rectify that.
Okay, so it's unclear to me when someone on your staff, why they didn't, why didn't they follow up more directly? It's just the way the police report's written. I can't tell at what point someone other than this bouncer became aware of what happened. That works for you.
What do you mean that when an incident happened?
So when take the bouncer out of the narrative right now. When did management or someone that works directly for you become aware of this incident?
We came aware of it right when it happened. We you know, everyone's got radios. That's why I ran out of the my office area in front to go back. By that time, it was like 3 seconds. It was pretty fast.
Okay,
Because they were having a verbal exchange over there, and that's when he used the N-word. What I was told was that the Jamal and Aaron, they were already aware of what was going on. They were standing right there.
okay. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Kern, do you have any questions?
Do you have a de-escalation plan? I know you said that you have been training your staff about not responding physically to verbal assaults like that, but do you have it in writing?
As far as de-escalating, the main thing we do is there's a radio call, and management and the head of security, Elizabeth, one of us or all of us will be there and, intervene, stop it. But also, like, whole staff is trained to like, if two guys are verbally going at it, they'll escort one of my staff who's having the problem away and take over the conversation to de-escalate it. We remove one of the people from anything getting physical.
You can send that de-escalation plan to us. Thank you.
Can you submit your written notes to us? Your narrative is kind of hard to follow, and you said you had notes about what happened. It'd just be good to have them in front of me as we deliberate.
Yeah.
Okay.
The video, was it taken with a cell phone?
Yes, and it was sent to me.
Okay, who took the video?
I don't know. Somebody sent it to the table, one of the promoters, and then the promoter showed it to me and sent it to me. So
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it came from, but it was great because the cameras that are face the stage, you can't see much because of the lights, and then part of the balcony blocks out that right underneath where the stairs are there. If you're looking at the stage on the right-hand side.
But you're saying the video shows that it didn't happen near the coat check?
Correct. It happened right next to the stage, which is the farthest away from place away from the coat check. The coat check is when you first come in the club. The stage is, all the way at the other end. So what I said was that Kenton Bennett did not chase this kid down. This kid approached him.
Okay, I'll wait for the video. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Any further questions for Mr. Cleavis or for Detective Walsh from the board? I know, Elizabeth, you are with us as well, and you've been sworn in. Did you have anything further to add for the board? You are also on mute.
Hi, can you hear me now?
We can.
Okay, yeah. Just to kind of elaborate on what George was saying, I think it's from like the report, it's a little hard to understand the exact situation, and I think it's a key factor is, so where Kenton Bennett was posted, our security, he was by the staircase, which is right next to the stage. And the purpose of that staircase being closed off is because that, it was accessed only for, the artists that are in, it has access to the green room. So that's the reason why we always have a security posted right there. And to get up to the balcony tables, the VIP tables where Mr. Nunez claims that he was trying to get, there are other staircases, on the opposite end of the club, which are by the coat check and on, the far right side to the club. So when he was denied entry going up those stairs, that would have been the reason why. A lot of times during the nights, people have had a few drinks in them, whatever. Anytime they have like a table up there, we run into incidents frequently where people will be like, why can't I go this way? And, you try to explain to them why those stairs are closed off. Again, not saying that, this is one person's fault or the others. I'm just trying to give you guys an understanding of why the security was stationed right there. And then, as George said, I think it's very important, that key fact that at the end of the night, that the security was still in his post. He never left the entrance of that staircase. Mr. Nunes, in order to have come off the balcony where his VIP table was, he would have had to come off all the way on the opposite side of the club, down the other staircase, and literally walked across the club to where the security was posted, in order to have this confrontation again. So, again, not saying in any way that, security had a right, to put hands on him or anything. This altercation happened, due to their exchange of words and whatever, led up to that. But I just think it's important that to note that the security did not go after Mr. Nunes. He did not try to continue this or instigate it.
So I have
And
a
that way
question.
he
Are you saying that the security's response that I'm watching on the video right now is because of the verbal argument they had?
So
Are you saying it's
again, I'm not.
appropriate?
No,
I'm
no,
watching the
no,
video, and you're saying it's a verbal argument, and this is their
not by
response
any
to a verbal
means.
argument?
Not by any means that it's appropriate. I just want to just note that, because I think the way Mr. Nunes told the story, it was kind of saying that he was going to coat check, bringing a girl to coat check, and that security approached him, whereas the security never left the post that he was at, which would have been at the bottom of those stairs.
Regardless, the punching, it looks like he's being held back. What does that have to do with leaving his post or
Again,
not?
in no way are we saying that was correct what happened, that was okay. We have an absolute zero tolerance, no matter what the situation is, for
Okay, so we
security
want to
ever
see,
get
we want to
physical.
see in writing by the end of the day, your de-escalation plan, your security plan, where your cameras are. We want to see your notes, George, about this night, and as many details as you can share with us.
Okay, you want that, you want that today? You
Yeah,
said,
we're voting tomorrow.
okay. All right, I'll have to.
I mean,
handle
this
it.
was December, so I'm assuming that you took this serious enough and you have all this stuff easily available. So we're voting
Yeah,
tomorrow.
no, I have it, but I have to physically deliver it to you, I guess.
Okay.
I,
All there.
unless I can fax it,
Fax,
I'll-
you can email it to us if you'd like, hand deliver it, but we will be voting tomorrow, so I appreciate that.
And just
Okay.
for the board's knowledge, we have just been sent the video from BPD during this hearing. It is being uploaded into the folder right now for you to view.
okay, all right, so you have that.
Yeah.
The other thing, that video does not, it shows the end of what happened, so I don't have the, how the
Why
alter.
don't you submit your notes and explain that, since you have no other video and your video camera videos were in the middle of being upgraded? So since that's all we have, that's all we can go off of, so please put some stuff in writing to supplement what we have in the police report, so we can consider it before we vote tomorrow.
Okay,
Great.
all right, thank you.
Any further questions from Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon? Okay, the board will take this matter under advisement, and we have asked for your notes, a map of where your cameras are, written de-escalation plan, as the chair said, by the end of the day. That can be submitted to licensingboard@boston.gov, and it will be forwarded to the commissioners, or can be brought in hard copy or on a thumb drive to room 809 at City Hall.
Okay,
Thank you. Board will take this under advisement.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 2 has been continued and will be rescheduled to the next available hearing date. Calling item number 3, 1732 Center Street, Inc., doing business as West, located at 1732 to 1736 Center Street in West Roxbury. Date of the incident, December 1st, 2023. Assault and battery, patron on employee in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. Assault and battery employee on patron in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. And assault and battery patron on patron in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. Who is present on behalf of the licensee? Is anybody on with us on behalf of 1732 Center Street, West on the Center?
Yes.
Sorry,
Hello.
yes,
Sorry,
Sorry.
we're having problems with our Zoom. Sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Great, thank you for being here. We see you're on camera. If you could please identify yourselves for the board.
My name is Sarah Green. I'm one of the managers.
And I'm Joseph Green. I'm the owner.
Great, thank you very much for being with us. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
If Detective Williams or Officer Rosado aren't here, Lieutenant Detective Troy.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning? Can you all please raise your right hand? Lieutenant Detective Troy, if you could, thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Lieutenant Troy, if you could please read the police report into the record for us.
Reading for a report written by Officer Rosado on December 17, 2023, about 1:09 a.m. Officer Rosado and Ho on site at a fight outside West on Center Street at 1732 Center Street, West Roxbury. Also responding was Officer Clardy and Detective Williams. While on patrol, officers observed what appeared to be an altercation outside the West on Center Street. On further investigation, officers observed a white male, later identified as John McGowan, appeared to be bleeding from his forehead. When asked about what happened, victim stated he did not know what happened. Officers then spoke to the restaurant bartender, identified as Patrick McDonough, who stated that the victim appeared to be intoxicated and got into a verbal dispute with another patron. Mr. McDonough advised the victim that he needs to leave the premises. Suspect, who's Mr. McDonough, stated that the victim became verbally aggressive towards him and refused to leave. Mr. McDonough then stated that he then escorted the victim out. While outside, a struggle ensued, and Mr. McDonough punched the other individual, Mr. McGowan, multiple times in the forehead, causing a laceration to his head. EMS responded and transported the victim to West Roxbury VA Hospital for medical treatment. Sergeant Detective Brown responded to the scene and conducted a licensed premise check. There's a supplementary report by Detective Williams, and it reads as follows. Following the response of Officer Rosado and Ho and Detective Williams and Clardy to the West on Center Street for an altercation outside, Patrol Supervisor Sergeant Detective Brown arrived and conducted a Code 35 inspection on the premises. Detective Williams spoke to the bartender, Patrick McDonough, who had an injury to his right hand, and stated that he saw a verbal altercation developing between two customers seated at the bar. And when he intervened to defuse the situation by asking both parties to leave the establishment, one party, a black male with a ponytail, responded by getting up and leaving. The other party, a white male in a New England Patriots shirt, later identified as Mr. McGowan, became argumentative and wouldn't leave. The bartender then escorted that party outside. Upon reaching the door, that party began to actively resist and fight the bartender, who responded by striking him in the forehead with his fist. The individual with the Patriot shirt, that's Mr. McGowan, was found outside by officers bleeding from forehead laceration, was treated and transported by EMS, and he refused to say what happened. Sergeant Detective Brown, after speaking to the manager, Sarah Green, issued a license premise violation for patron on patron and employee statements on body worn camera. I don't understand what that means. That's the extent of the reports.
Thank you very much. Ms. Green, Mr. Green, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Well, Sarah was there, but so I think that's pretty descriptive of exactly what happened. So there's just a verbal argument at the bar. Pat went over. I think we did the right thing. We put one of the gentlemen. We asked him to leave. He went out the back door, and then Pat was escorted this gentleman to the front door. And he was just Sarah can speak to it more, but he was just aggressive and argumentative. And Pat is a very nice gentleman. He brought him. He said you had to leave. Brought him outside, and then he just got into a tussle with Pat and hit Pat a couple of times, and Pat just responded. That's basically it. We called. We then I think Sarah called 911. You know, it was towards the end of the night. There wasn't, I can't read how many people were there, but there wasn't a, I don't think there wasn't a ton of people in the restaurant at the time. So that's about it. Sarah, do you have anything?
I think that pretty much covered it. Yeah.
Other than that, it was a good night. We didn't know either party. No one knew them. They weren't together. So yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Our staff are always trained to separate any individuals that get into an altercation with each other. So they separated them, and Pat brought this gentleman out to the front, and there was actually another bartender that brought the other guy out to the back, and he left. That was the original two that were fighting.
It wasn't even a fight. It was more
Yeah.
of just an argument.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you. We will see if there are any questions. Chairman Joyce, any questions?
I have no questions, thanks.
Commissioner Curran, any questions?
Is there any video at your establishment?
We do have video, yes. I believe when
I believe they took video. They took the
Yeah.
video of it.
If I could, Chairman, that's noted in the detective's notes that the Detective Williams viewed the video and confirmed Patrick McDonough's account of the incident, where it appeared that McGowan was the dominant aggressor and had to be escorted outside to prevent an incident. However, the video is not it's not attached to the detective's notes here, so we don't have access to it.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Saxon, any questions?
No questions from me. Thank you.
Thank you all. The board will take this matter under advisement.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Calling item number 4, Alasti Corp. doing business as Napper Tandy's located at 4187 to 4195 Washington Street in Roslindale. Date of the incident, December 5th, 2023. Overdose on premise ×2 in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, Chapter 94C, and Board's Rule 1.13. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Attorney Patricia Malone for Alasti Corporation.
John Jacob, manager on record.
Thank you. And who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Kearney.
Thank you, Sergeant. Is it possible to turn your camera on so we can swear you in?
Sure.
Great. Thank you very much. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning? Thank you. Could y'all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Sergeant, if you could please read the police report into the record for us.
I don't have a copy of the report with me. I thought the officer would have it. Group officer program would be here to have the report.
Lieutenant Detective Troy, I have a copy of the report.
Thank you.
Reading from a report written by Officer Grant, it reads as follows: at 9:40 p.m. on December 5th, 2023, Officer Grant responded to a report of an overdose at 4195 Washington Street, Napper Tandy's Bar in Rosendale. On arrival, the officer observed Boston Fire Department Entrance 53 and Boston EMS personnel providing first aid to two males lying on the floor in the pool room located at the above address. Firefighters informed the officer that when they arrived on scene, victim number 1, Victor Pelaranta, was already lying on the floor suffering from an overdose, while victim number 2, Ishan Silvestran, stated that both he and victim number 1 snorted what they believed to be cocaine. A short time later, the victim number 1 fell to the floor, which prompted others in the pool room to contact 911. While firefighters and EMS were providing aid to victim number 1, victim number 2 began to suffer the effects of an overdose, was placed on the floor, and was subsequently provided first aid as well. In time, both parties did respond to rescue efforts and were transported to Beth Israel Deaconess for medical treatment. Officer was informed by the manager, Albert Murata, that he and 2 other employees, Aaron Diaz and David Cardona, were playing pool with each other when they heard somebody fall to the ground. They looked over, saw victim number 1 on the ground, victim number 2 trying to wake him up. Other witnesses, Brian and Winona Glasscock, also stated that they were playing pool in the pool room at the time of the overdose as well. They stated that they observed victim number 1 leave the pool room for a period of time, leaving victim number 2 to pace the room. When victim number 1 returned, they observed both parties into the bathroom with the sign in the door stating that it was out of order. Both parties did not bother to shut the door and appeared to motion as if they were snorting drugs in the bathroom. A short time later, they observed victim number 1 fall to the ground and subsequently victim number 2 fall to the ground as fire and EMS were on scene. Due to the establishment being a licensed premise, Sergeant Kearney was notified. It's an additional report written by Sergeant Kearney, and it reads as follows: at 8:30, Sergeant Kearney performed a licensed premise check at 4195 Washington Street, Nappertandy's Bar. This report was written on December 21st, and it's on December 6th, about 10 o'clock, 2 men were found in the pool room suffering from a fentanyl overdose. Sergeant inspected the licenses and were all posted and up to date, and issued a license premise violation. That's the extent of the incident report.
Thank you. Attorney Malone, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, I'm just curious, Sergeant Kearney, you don't have any firsthand information regarding this incident, do you?
Excuse me, firsthand?
Information. You went in after the incident occurred.
Yes.
Correct? Okay,
Yes.
okay, no further questions. Yes, Mr. Jacob is here today. He's the manager of record. He took this matter very, very seriously. And I just want to say for the record that the gentleman that did address the officers that are not here today were in fact playing pool, were actually off-duty people and were not working the night this incident occurred. Mr. Jacob has put a number of policies and procedures in, hopefully to curtail this type of incident from happening again. So I'll now turn it over to Mr. Jacob. Mr. Jacob?
Yeah, hi, good morning. So this is something that's never happened. I've never experienced before, and it's something that I find very concerning. So since the incident, we've replaced the manager. The current manager has approximately 10 years experience in the hospitality industry. We've keyed that bathroom door, so it requires keyed entry going forward. We also have implemented a internal communication app called Crew, which notifies employees of policies and procedures, incidents, and people that are banned in real time. We've also used a paid app for identification called IntelliCheck, which gives us the option if somebody is banned or if we have a situation like this, we can put them into the system and they're no longer permitted into the premises. These people obviously are no longer admitted. We've upgraded our camera system as well. The system that was in place had memory lapse, so it had recorded over before I had an opportunity to take a recording of it, and that's the reason we don't have the ability to provide it. And now we also have a manager that goes around and checks bathrooms on a regular basis, floor and just general safety of the guests and the integrity of the building and the integrity of the license.
Thank you. Anything further, Mr. Jacob or Attorney Malone?
No, I'd just like to say that Mr. Jacob obviously takes this very seriously. He hasn't been before the board for approximately 7 years. And hopefully some of these measures he's put into place will curtail that. We'll be seeing you in the near future. I have nothing further. If the board wants to inquire to Mr. Jacob, please.
Thank you. Chairman Joyce, any questions?
So where these bathrooms were that had the do not use sign or whatever, out of order sign, how come staff didn't notice them going in there?
The staff did. We've a different opinion of what's in the report. So Albert Berto said he's seen the guest go into the bathroom and he followed him in immediately and asked him to leave. They went back to playing pool, and after a couple of minutes, this chap collapsed onto the ground. He went over to attend him, and then one of the other guests or staff member called 911.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any questions. Commissioner Curran or Commissioner Saxon?
No questions for me, thank you.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. The board will take this matter under advisement as well.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Calling item number 5, Big Night Venues Boston 4 LLC, doing business as Scorpion Bar and Restaurant at the Grand, located at 25 Northern Ave. Date of the incident, December 17th, 2023. Assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, patron on patron, in violation of Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 15A. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Good morning, Kristen Scanlon for the licensee, as well as Charlie Kane, Executive Director of Security, and Melton Howard, who's also Director of Security.
Thank you, and I do see both of them on our screen. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Detective McKellen's not here, Lieutenant Detective Troy. Again,
Thank you. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify on this matter?
This is Detective McEwen. I'm just having trouble with the,
Thank you, Detective. Hang on one moment. I've just asked you to start video. Something should have popped up on your screen. Here we go. Thank you very much. And are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify? Okay, can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you, Detective. Will you be reading the police report to the record?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Report dated December 17th, 232-102-404. About 12:18 p.m. on Sunday, December 17th, 2023, Officer Cavaco in the Fox 603 Alpha responded to a radio call for a person with a gun at 56 Seaport Boulevard, Boston, Mass. Assisting on scene was Fox 101 Alpha officers LeGrand and Martin, Fox 499 Alpha officers Eunice, Officer 411, Officer Burke, 441, Officer Quiles, 421, Officer Burke, Fox 902 Patrol Supervisor Sergeant Denio, and Fox 901 Patrol Supervisor Sergeant Tully. Upon arrival, officers encountered the victim, Gabriel Abdelman, outside of the Scorpion Bar located at 58 Seaport Boulevard, Boston, Mass. The victim stated that while inside of Scorpion Bar, the suspect, Gurpreet Singh, bumped into him as he walked by and stated, quote, "Watch where the fuck you are going," unquote. Then at which point the victim stated the suspect then appeared to reach down to the right side of his waistband to what appeared like a firearm. The victim stated the suspect then pulled out a black firearm, later identified to be a 6 Sauer Piece 365 9mm handgun. Serial number 66 Alpha 360252. The victim stated at which point the suspect pointed the firearm at him, placing him in fear for his life, and stated, quote, "I could kill you right now if I wanted to," unquote. The victim's friend, Paul Murray, stated that he was behind the victim as the incident took place inside the Scorpion Bar and confirmed he did not see the suspect brandish a firearm and yell, quote, "I could kill you right now if I wanted to," unquote. The victim stated that he then told the security of the club what occurred. After the incident, the suspect was escorted out of the bar by security, to which he stated, quote, "I am on the job," unquote, in reference to being a police officer. While outside, the suspect was questioned by the head of security of Scorpion Bar, Jason Nichols, who stated that when he approached the suspect, he showed him a police ID, which later identified him to be an expired Commonwealth of Massachusetts police identification card out of the Bolton Police Department. While on scene, security obtained video footage of the suspect outside of the club. Officers were able to view the video to get a description of the suspect: tall, Middle Eastern male, light black beard, wearing a gray Under Armour quarter zip with black jeans. Fox 902 Patrol Supervisor Daniel arrived on scene to conduct a code 35 of the Scorpion Bar, citation number 043078. Officers then canvassed the area to no avail. Vice President of Scorpion Bar, James Pollock, then flagged officers down, stating that an individual matching the suspect's description was seen between stubbies located at 43 Northern Avenue, right around the corner from Scorpion Bar. Officers then ran on foot about a block away and then tracked down an individual matching that description down as he attempted to enter Empire, located at 1 Marina Park Drive, Boston, Mass. Officers then approached the suspect and immediately could see an imprint of a firearm on the right side of the suspect's waist. Officers conducted a pat frisk to the suspect and felt what officers know to be, through their training and experience, a firearm. Officers removed the firearm from the suspect's waist and demanded to see the victim's license to carry. The suspect presented officers with a Commonwealth of Massachusetts license to carry 131-894-430A. Through a CJIS query, the suspect's LTC was valid, expiration 2/12/28, and the firearm in his position 6 RP 365 was actively registered to the suspect. The suspect denied all allegations of pointing a firearm at the victim and stated he did not state he was a police officer to the Scorpion Bar security and unaware of why they would think he was. Officers were able to view the video footage of inside Scorpion Bar showing the suspect brandished the firearm and pointed at the victim provided by security. Fox 901 Sergeant Tully contacted Bolton PD, to which they stated the suspect is not an active officer of their department or was terminated in the past. Officers then placed Gurpreet Singh under arrest for the following: 1 count of assault and battery, dangerous weapon. Fox 101 then transported the suspect to District D4 for booking without further incident. Firearm logged into C6 evidence logbook, page 1, page 15. And that's essentially the end of the report.
Thank you very much. Attorney Scanlon, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Detective McEwen. Just briefly, to your knowledge, was staff cooperative both that evening and throughout the police investigation regarding this matter?
I was assigned to conduct a follow-up investigation, get the video, and the people I dealt with were cooperative.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Green, in regards to this incident, that evening, the doors for entry were set up at approximately 9 p.m. I believe the board is already aware of this, but the venue does have the Evolved security system. I believe they're actually the first in the city to use it over 40 years ago, which Charlie Kane can explain in more detail. However, this machine that evening was malfunctioning and they were waiting for tech support to come and fix it. So for that evening, they went to their second door protocol, which is the wanding method for entry. At approximately 9:33, you will see that the alleged suspect entered the premises with an unidentified male friend. The staff at the premises have never seen them before, no reason to know them or know that any incident like this would occur. You will also see that the alleged suspect is wanded, but the weapon is not detected at this time. Unfortunately, the wand does leave a little bit room for human error versus the Evolved system. The video will show, as I said, he entered at 9:30 at midnight. And up until this time, there's no issue between the suspect here or the patrons involved in the incident. But the video shows at approximately midnight, the suspect begins to walk through a group of people to exit the area he's in. He appears to push through them a bit aggressively, and this visual is slightly obscured only momentarily behind a brick column. Within 11 seconds from him starting to move, and what we assume is a brief verbal exchange, the suspect pulls a gun from his waistband and does point it at another patron. There's a barback who appears to be the nearest staff and is retrieved by the patrons. And the barback, per protocol, begins flashing a light to bring attention to the area. Simultaneously, the suspect is exiting the premises, and this is all occurring within a minute, and it's time-stamped on the videos. As security is walking him to the door, another security team is learning from the group of patrons the story of what occurred. The suspect has a different story for our director of, or VP rather, of security and operations, Jason Nichols, who's outside. And in that short amount of time, the suspect leaves the premises. This is when Jason Nichols, again, VP of Security and Ops, is notified from another VP of Operations, Jamie Pollock, inside that the suspect did in fact have a gun. 911 was immediately called, and thereafter, out of concern for public safety and the location of this suspect while they waited for police to arrive, Mr. Pollock and Mr. Nichols tailed the suspect, waiting for arrival to keep eyes on him, and also radioing to their other staff, happened to be Melton Howard, who was on the door that evening at Empire, with a description of the suspect while they waited for police to arrive. Melton, as I said, was at the door, was on the lookout for the suspect and ID'd him, and he was refusing him entry to Empire, which is when the police arrived to arrest the suspect. Mr. Kane can provide further detail on the interaction with police as well as the follow-up investigation there. But before handing it over to Charlie, worth noting after the incident that they immediately incorporated an Evolve liaison and use of force de-escalation professional to set up training for all security and specifically door security personnel, conducting specialized training on the use of the Evolve system. Again, just a refresher, and secondary protocol and wanding procedure, including the correct stance of patrons for thoroughness and backup systems in the event there's ever future issues with the Evolve system. At this time, I'll hand it over to Charlie for further comment on the incident.
Good morning, Attorney Green and members of the board. The Evolve system is a system we got. It's a state-of-the-art weapons detection system we got 4 years ago. We're the first venue in the city of Boston, aside from Patriot Place at Gillette Stadium, to utilize the system. Now the Boston Garden and Fenway Park utilize the system, as well as a couple of the music and theater halls in the city. 2 reasons we went to it was because it's more for the patrons' hospitality experience and for its reliability and dependability. So on this evening, when we opened doors at 9, we had a malfunction with the system. We notified tech support for some help, and we went to our secondary system to do our due diligence and did the pat down with the wands. You'll see in the video, the individual security officer does do a wand on both patrons as they come in at 9:33 p.m. and misses the firearm, which is, from my training experience, is a compact, concealable weapon that is made primarily of polymer, which is a synthetic plastic, which does not always get detected by a wand. That's another reason we went to the Evolve system. You'll also see in the video, there was no indication of any problem with these individuals in the venue, clearly visible in the video. And then you do see a brief interaction where he pushes through a crowd and causes the interaction. And you can see clearly on the video that we capture him pull a firearm, and then he secures it. Immediately, security gets involved once notified by the porter, escorts him out to the lobby and brings him downstairs, keeping his friend behind, and brings him out to Vice President of Security Operations, Jason Nichols, who has conversation with him. He identifies himself as a police officer. And at that point, Jason gets more information, calls 911 relative to the drawing of the firearm. The individual walks away. Due to obviously safety concerns, Jason Nichols did not try to detain him and radioed on the radio that he's heading towards Northern Ave to our sister restaurant, Empire, that this individual with a description had a firearm and possibly brandished it, and the police were en route. Shortly thereafter, Jamie Pollock sees the individual going down Northern Ave by committee towards Empire, notifies the uniformed Boston police officer of same. By that time, he's at the door where Melton Howard already knew that he was a suspect, denied him entry, and immediately Boston police was on scene and went into what they detail in their police report. I would like to note that, we did our due diligence at the door by going to the secondary safety system for our patrons and staff that night. We did call 911. And then out of concern for public safety, Jason Nichols and Jamie Pollock loosely try to follow the individual due to the severity of the crime and the public safety issue at that time in the Seaport with all the restaurants and other venues open. As Attorney Scanlon pointed out, we did implement a new training system, which we got a liaison from Evolve. We have a use of force and de-escalation instructor who incorporated the wanding, and we set up a new policy and new training immediately, which if you want to ask more questions on that, my director of security, Melton Howard, can answer that. He oversees our training and can elaborate more on that if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. Attorney Scanlon, anything further before we move to questions from the board?
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Joyce, any questions?
Thanks, I have no questions.
Commissioner Curran, any questions?
None for me, thank you.
Commissioner Saxon?
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. And just a housekeeping matter, is Michael Nachman still the manager of record for this licensed premise?
Yes, he is.
Okay, thank you. The notice for this hearing that was sent to his home address was returned as undeliverable. So if we want to just make sure that we have the correct home address on file here.
Sure.
Yes.
That the board will take this matter under advisement. Calling item number 6 concerns the same licensee, Big Night Venues Boston 4 LLC, doing business as Scorpion Bar and Restaurant at the Grand, located at 25 Northern Ave. Date of the incident, December 17th, 2023. Indecent assault and battery, patron on employee in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Kristen Scanlon again for the licensee and Charlie Kane.
And who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Police Officer Brian Martin.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify? Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Officer Martin, if you could please read the police report into the record for us.
Sure. Due to the nature of the incident, I don't have access to this individual police report.
Lieutenant Director Troy, I have the copy of the incident report here.
Thank you.
It is coded as an indecent assault and battery, so police officer may not have access to it. But I can read you the pertinent details of the report. It reads as follows. It was written by Officer Martin, and it reads as follows: at 1:13 a.m. on Sunday, December 17, 2023, Officer Martin were approached by a female stating she was assaulted at 58 Seaport Boulevard, Boston, South Boston. Also on scene was the Sergeant Denio, the patrol supervisor. While inside the Scorpion Bar, officers were approached by the victim, as known to the Commonwealth, who stated that she was videotaping one of the dancers. The suspect squeezed her buttocks and then rubbed his hand along her back. Victim stated the assault occurred about 12:11 a.m. Victim was employed by the Scorpion Bar. Victim stated the assault took place over her shorts and there was no penetration. The victim pointed out the suspect to club security, James Festa, who took a photograph of the suspect's ID. The name on the ID was known to the Commonwealth. Mr. Festa stated that the suspect then left the premises. Victim has camera footage on her phone which captures the suspect's face. A witness was also a dancer at the Scorpion Bar, observed the assault and stated to officers that the suspect was touching the victim for about 15 seconds. Sergeant Denio completed a license premise violation and notified the sexual assault unit. Well, the matter was investigated and the victim declined to go forward with the investigation. That's the extent of the police report.
Thank you, Lieutenant Troy. Attorney Scanlon, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, thank you. Officer Martin, to your knowledge, an involvement with staff cooperative with police this evening while they were there and during the investigation?
Yes.
And they provided video surveillance for the police as well, correct?
I was not part of the investigation. I was only there for the initial report, so I couldn't answer that question. I was shown a cell phone video from one of the employees at the time.
Okay.
But from that security, I was not involved in that.
Okay, thank you.
Attorney Scanlon, if I could just, it's noted in the detective's notes that video was secured from the club. It's just not attached to the investigation.
Thank you, Lieutenant Detective Troy, appreciate that. Madam Chair, members of the board, we do have video surveillance, which will provide the board that speaks for itself. Upon review from several angles and several times over, the allegation is unsubstantiated. Simply put, you'll never see what is alleged. At approximately 12:14, the alleged victim here can be seen recording her friend dancing. You'll see the alleged victim speak what appears to be a brief, friendly, and uneventful interaction with the alleged suspect, who then walks away. You will see no reaction from the alleged victim, and for what it's worth, you'll see no reaction from the alleged witness either. or an alleged 15-second touching occur. The alleged victim then continues to record the dancing from several different angles for approximately 5 minutes. She appears to be dancing and smiling. You'll also see on the video that a manager in a suit coat is right there a few feet away from her, and also see a member of security team walk through and past her. And she reports nothing to either one of them. Several minutes later, she eventually walks into the kitchen and makes the allegation to another member of our security team, pointing out the alleged male suspect in the report several minutes later. However, once security is aware of the allegation, they of course take that seriously. In the moment, approach the alleged suspect per protocol, identify him, bring him to the lobby. Police is also on scene because it happened to be the same night as the incident you just heard about previously. But we don't physically detain and hold the suspects. He refused to stay during that time, but security also notified Boston police on scene as well. As I said, they're already there related to the other incident. I'll turn it over to Mr. Kane in the event he has further comment to add regarding his internal investigation as well.
Good morning again. As Attorney Scanlon stated, sorry, I shut my camera off. I apologize. I was in the lobby. I had come from Big Night Live when the initial incident happened, and responded to Empire to assist the police in the investigation. I went over to Scorpion Grand with Sergeant Denio he had to take the information off the license in the lobby. When this one came in, she reported it nearly 10 minutes later, you'll see in the video. And there was no indication of the alleged allegation in the video that I observed watching it several times from several different angles. And we advised, we got him identified. I advised Sergeant Denio and that she did not want to press charges. He said, okay, as long as you have her ID, his ID, then we can do a follow-up if something changes. Subsequently, she changed her mind. Approximately 30 minutes later, Sergeant Denio was still on scene with the police officers in the area, and we brought her down. They spoke to her and took a statement and report. Subsequently, 3 days later, I was notified by Detective Daniel Konetsky from the Sexual Assault Unit of Boston Police relative to the video, which he was provided with forthwith. And yesterday I reached out to him via email, and he called me back and stated that he would not be on today's hearing. He was not summoned, but I could share that the case was closed and there were no charges filed against the alleged assailant.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kane or Attorney Scanlon. Anything further?
Nothing further at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Joyce, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Commissioner Kern.
I just want to be clear, Mr. Kane, you're saying that after you were made aware of the initial allegation, there was some contact with the police, and then it was over for a little while, and then the alleged victim wanted to talk to the police again?
Sorry, sir, not to interrupt you. I apologize. We offered, the police were in the lobby. I was down there, and she refused. She said she didn't want to press charges. She did not want medical, which are the standard questions. She was told, I was downstairs, as I stated, with Sergeant Denio. She was told that the police were in the building downstairs. She said, I don't want to talk to them. It's not a big deal. I don't want medical. Then subsequently changed her mind, and immediately we brought her to the police.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Commissioner Saxon, any questions? Thank you. The board will take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 7, ATG Inc., doing business as Cleary's, located at 331 to 335 Columbus Ave, date of the incident December 17th, 2023. Assault and battery, employee on patron in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. and uncooperative with police in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.10 A and B. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Good morning, Attorney Green, Madam Chair, members of the board, Leslie Delaney Hawkins with the law firm of Prince Lobel. And with me today is Derek Curvals, who is the general manager and was on premise the night of the incident.
Thank you. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Mike Aziz, District 4.
Thank you, Sergeant. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning?
And Officer Sharonda Allen, District 4.
Thank you, Officer Allen. Can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Who will be reading the police report into the record?
I will.
Great, thank you. You may please proceed.
About 11:42 p.m. Sunday, December 17th, 2023, the Delta 445 Alpha Allen responded to a radio call for a fight at Clary's located at 111 Dartmouth Street, Boston. Also assisting on this call was the Delta 203 Alpha Marshall Powell, Delta 431 Alpha Miriam, Delta 103 Alpha Brown Richards, and Delta 910 Sergeant Aziz, the patrol supervisor. Upon arrival on scene, officers spoke with Patrick Doherty, victim, who stated that he had been in the bar just standing when he noticed his friend being attacked by a bouncer. The victim stated he attempted to intervene when he was placed in a chokehold by another bouncer, later identified as Brandon Carr, suspect. The victim stated he was then dragged out of the bar. Also on scene was Benjamin Lawrence, who was a witness to this incident. Officer Allen also spoke with the suspect, who initially refused to give his name and date of birth to officers while on scene. Officers were able to obtain the suspect's name from the manager, Derek Curvals, who was also on scene. The suspect stated he was trying to clear the walkway in the club when he tapped on the shoulder of the victim, requesting that he clear the way. The suspect stated that the victim then punched him in the face and scratched his neck. There was a small cut on the suspect's face and on his upper lip. They all denied needing medical attention on scene. A licensed premise inspection was conducted by Sergeant Aziz with citation 022407 issued. The violations were employee on patron assault and bouncer refused to give name and date of birth. A copy of the violation was given to the manager, Derek Curvals, on scene. That's the end of the report.
Thank you very much. Attorney Hawkins, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, thank you very much. Just two questions for the officer. Officer Allen, other than the incident with the alleged suspect, was staff cooperative with you that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And has there been any formal charges resulting from this incident, to your knowledge?
As according to the report, there wasn't, no.
Great, thank you very much. And if I may, two administrative matters, as I informed Attorney Green, Daniel Santos, who was one of the incidents named in the report, who was the barback being escorted by the alleged suspect, had an emergency and is now unavailable this morning. The manager of the general manager, Derek Curvals, who's with us today, was also present that evening, but did not witness the whole of the incident. So we obviously, knowing that the officers were scheduled and the sergeant was scheduled, don't want to waste anyone's time, but want to give all the information we have. And should the board have additional questions, we're happy to bring back Mr. Santos. It was just an unforeseen scheduling issue. And with that, if I may, I just have some questions for the general manager. Derek, could you please state your full name and your position for the board?
Derek Curvals, General Manager.
And could you explain in your own words what occurred that evening that you witnessed and that you, based on your conversations, understand to have happened?
So it was under my understanding that Daniel had asked Brandon to kind of escort him through the crowd as it was pretty busy, as he was going to get ice. And as Brandon had asked someone to move out of the way, someone became aggressive. And in which case, I believe contact was made from towards the doorman, and then I believe his friends kind of joined in as well.
And what was the portion of the incident that you actually witnessed?
I had walked outside. I was not there during the actual incident. I would just I'd come upstairs and I tried to kind of just de-escalate this situation as the police arrived at that point.
And this was, just to be clear, this was actually Saturday night going into Sunday. They're conflicting dates. It just looks like an error on the report. We're actually closed on Sunday, so this was Saturday going into Sunday. And what were your staffing levels that evening?
We were fully staffed. Regularly have 12 doormen on. There was another manager as well, and as well as support staff.
Turning to Mr. Carr, the suspect, how long had he been working for the establishment?
Just about 3 months at that point.
And had you had any prior incidents with him?
No, never. He just seemed like a normal guy, quiet, very mild mannered.
And after this incident, what steps, if any, did you take?
He was sent home, and then we had let him go for not cooperating.
So is there any video of the incident?
Unfortunately, no. There was a malfunction on the on one of the cables that allowed the cameras to record, so I did not have anything recorded at that time.
And why, leading up to this, would you have not known that the cameras were not recording?
So the playback was working. The cameras were technically on. It just nothing was being recorded to the to the files.
And when did you realize that the cameras were not recording?
When the detective had reached out for video.
And has this been rectified since that?
Yes.
And have you taken any steps to ensure that you would know ahead of time, even though you can see the video, that it's not actually recording?
Yeah, I do just regular checks on the computer app and everything like that now, just to make sure that everything is being downloaded correctly.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair and members of the board, as I said, the general manager was present for a portion of the incident. We obviously would have preferred to have the individual who was the bar back here today. We're happy to bring him back, especially given that there is no video, should the board have additional questions. And the individual who is the suspect was terminated following this incident, so obviously he's not here to testify today. With that, we're happy to answer any questions and obviously defer to the board if you would like us to return.
Thank you. With that, we will see if there are any questions at this time. Chairwoman Joyce.
Thank you. I have no questions.
Commissioner Curran.
Are new hirees informed of their duty as a condition of employment to speak to the police during incidents?
Yes. That's always kind of, how we go about it, just always cooperate. I'm not sure why he did not.
Is that in writing anywhere? Is there like a handbook someone gets when they're onboarded?
Yes.
Can you send that to us?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Saxon, any questions?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. The board will take this under advisement. Please do send that handbook our way, and I'll make sure that it is shared with the commissioners.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Calling item number 8, Grove Hall Food Corp. doing business as Grove Hall Convenience Market located at 479 Blue Hill Ave in Dorchester. Date of the incident, February 26th, 2024. Assault and battery, patron on patron in rear parking lot in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. And overcrowding, mechanical count 70, capacity 16, in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Boards Rule 1.03J and 1.06A and F. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Attorney Jennifer Allen on behalf of the licensee.
Thank you, Attorney Allen. And do you have any witnesses with you on behalf of the licensee?
They are both logged in. They'll just have to unmute.
Hi, we're here.
Thank you very much. If you could just please identify yourselves for the board.
My name is Janelise Guerrero, Edward's wife and also co-manager for Grove Hall.
Edward Guerrero. Thank you. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Edward Durbin.
Officer Abinoy.
Thank you. And are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning?
No.
Can you all please raise your right hand? The licensee as well. Ms. Guerrero, Ms. Guerrero, if you please raise
Yeah,
your right
both.
hand. Yep, Ms. Guerrero, your right hand, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Who will be reading the police report into the record?
Officer Abinoy said he'd read the first portion. I'll read the second portion, my follow-up.
Thank you very much. Officer Abinor, if you could please proceed for us.
All right, about 11:58 p.m. on Monday, February 26, 2024, Officer Abinoy in Bravo 437 Alpha respond to the radio call for a fight at the Grove Hall Convenience Restaurant located at 479 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester. Multiple additional B2 officer respond and assist. Dispatch relayed information on channel 3 that a group of about 10 to 15 female started to getting an altercation outside Flame, moving toward to the parking lot. Upon arrival, Officer Abinoy observed the altercation at the rear of the Flame parking lot, which has seen one officer interfere. About 15 and male and female individuals were present in this crowd. Officer Abinoy has identified a potential female victim who appeared to be assault. However, the victim was uncooperative and declined to provide the incident detail. The victim departed the scene in 2022, white Ford Edge, Colorado, Reg Alpha Ida Bravo Swing 21. Given the lack of cooperation from all the parties, the incident leading to altercation remain unclear. Sergeant Durbin Bravo 913 was informed of the situation and will issue the license permission violation at a later date.
I could pick up the second portion of this.
Thank you.
About 12:03 a.m. on Monday, March 4th, 2024, Sergeant Durbin responded to 479 Blue Hill Ave, Dorchester, to conduct a code 35 licensed premise inspection. Due to the above incident, which took place on 2/27/24, Sergeant Durbin was assisted by Officer McPherson, Mark Yonda, and Officer Williamson. Their body-worn cameras were activated during this incident. Prior to completing the code 35, B2 officers were in the area due to a 911 call for a person with a gun at 469 Blue Hill Ave, which resulted in a warrant arrest of a Mr. Baptista. Upon arriving in the area and handling the person with the gun call, officers observed numerous individuals loitering and exiting 479 Blue Hill Ave, Dorchester. Prior to executing the code 35, officers observed approximately 15 to 20 people exit 479 Blue Hill Ave, Grove Hall Convenience Market. Officers then announced their presence and notified operations that they were performing a code 35 at 479 Blue Hill Ave. Officers made their way past the convenience store portion of the establishment and went to the rear room of 479 Blue Hill Ave. Prior to entering the establishment, Sergeant Durbin requested that Officer Williamson keep a head count of patrons within the licensed premise. Officers observed that the bar was selling alcohol on the left side of the rear room with some tables and chairs set off to the right side within the back room. Officer Williamson counted approximately 70 individuals within and outside the licensed premise. The crowd within the venue began to exit the establishment. Sergeant Durbin inquired on whom was the person in charge, and Jeffrey Guerrero identified that he was the person in charge and presented his Massachusetts driver's license. Sergeant Durbin then examined, photographed the business's certificates. The majority of the health, building, entertainment, and liquor licenses allocated only 16 occupants. A woman I spoke to on the telephone reported that she believed the business capacity was 37 individuals. Sergeant Durbin also noted that this business only posted and holds a common virtual license, 7-day license. License premise violation issued for assault patron on patron, the incident that took place on February 27th, capacity violation, and based off my photographs and inspection of certificates, no fire inspection certificate posted. This business had 3 security guards working on the premise. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you very much. Attorney Allen, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, thank you. And I also just wanted to mention, I know that both are here, Edward. Mrs. Guerrero is a witness and will be testifying, but also if needed, she will be a translator for Edward as well, just to throw that out there. So just a few questions for Officer Abenor. You were one of the responding officers that night, correct? On the February 26th in the rear parking lot?
Yes.
When you arrived on the scene, where exactly was the crowd in the back parking lot?
It was in like a parking lot, like in the front of like in the Flame restaurant, and like in the alleyway, like between the Flame restaurant and the other building.
And did you see the altercation take place?
It happened like after 1 hour arrived.
Okay. Did you see any of the people from the crowd from that altercation exiting the Grove Hall Convenience Market?
I did not.
And I understand that there's the Flames restaurant, which they were next to, and the barber shop. So could the crowd of people come from any of those other, the barber shop, the Flames restaurant, laundromat, anywhere else?
On the Flame restaurant was closed at that time, so and then the barber shop was closed at that time.
Okay, thank you. If I could ask Edward Guerrero and Yanela Guerrero questions as well. Edward, could you just state your name and your relationship to the Grove Hall Convenience Market?
Di tu nombre y la relación contigo hacia el negocio.
Yo soy el dueño del negocio y tengo tiempo ahí
¿Y tu
trabajando.
nombre?
Eduardo Guerrero.
My name is Edward Guerrero and I'm the owner of Grove Hall Convenience Market.
Tengo 23 años trabajando en esa área.
Okay. And he says he has 23 years working in that area.
Okay, and were you working on February 26th?
Estaba trabajando el día de febrero 26. Yes.
And did you witness any altercations with any patrons inside or outside of your store that night?
¿Tuviste alguna discusiones con tus clientes dentro de la bodega o alrededor de la bodega esa noche?
No, pues yo siempre tengo varias seguridad.
No, he says he also has security there and they didn't witness it.
And did you see anything going on in the rear parking lot at all?
¿Tuviste algo en el parqueo? No.
And is there an entrance or exit in the rear of the store that leads to the back parking lot where this assault happened?
Hay una salida en el negocio que va hacia el parqueo donde el asalto pasó.
Sí, pero no sale nadie por ahí. Dame emergencia.
Okay, so he has a rear exit. It's to be used for emergencies only. It does lead to the parking lot, not specifically to where the assault happened, but clients are not to use that to come in.
Okay. And on the night of February 26th, did any officers come into the restaurant?
En la noche de febrero 26, ¿algún oficial entró al negocio? El 26 de febrero. No. Not on February 26th.
Okay. And then Mrs. Guerrero, if you could just state your name and relationship to the Grove Hall Convenience Market.
Yeah, my name is Janelise Guerrero. I am the wife to Edward Guerrero, and I also work there part-time.
Okay, and were you working on March 4th when the officers had come in?
I had actually left, maybe like 15 minutes before they arrived.
Okay. And were you the person on the phone? Did you speak to the officers?
Yes, I spoke to Sergeant Edward.
Okay, and what did you discuss briefly?
So initially when we got on the phone, I was telling him where the licenses were. He was asking me about the capacity, because he was telling me like that there was a discrepancy. It said 16, and I was trying to tell him that there's one that says a capacity of 37. He did say, everyone's cooperative here. The staff are working with us, which is good.
Okay, thank you. So regarding the assault and battery in the rear parking lot, the manager did not witness any altercations that night, nor did any of the officers come into the establishment to inquire. When my client left the restaurant, there was no crowd or police in the back of the building or on the side. Also, the officers, as you've heard, could not confirm where the crowd came from. They could have come, there's also residential in the back, plus there's also an exit from the laundromat and other, from the other restaurants. In addition, there's no public exit out of the rear of the restaurant. Thus, none of the patrons from Grove Hall would be congregating in the rear parking lot. I know I also sent some pictures over just so you could see the geography of the restaurant. There's a bit of a fence back there, just for the emergency exit only. There's no, the way that they would get out, they wouldn't be able to, nobody would be exiting that way. Thus, we're asking for the board to dismiss this violation. As for the remaining violations, I have reviewed the rules and regulations from the city of Boston and the ABCC with my client. He understands how serious these violations are. He's in the process and has hired additional employees to ensure that the capacity does not exceed 16. And they will do sweeps in the front and the rear of the building to ensure that there's no loitering anymore, to disperse any crowds. PIP certification is required. I know that as Mrs. Guerrero had stated to the officer, she thought the capacity was 37. We've gone over the capacity as well. I know while reviewing the documents with them, their certificate of occupancy says 37. The certificate of inspection states 16. The liquor license has a capacity of 16, but then also says seating for 25. So she was just confused on the phone. But either way, Mr. Guerrero is currently in the process also of filing plans with ISD to increase capacity, which we've also gone over, and he'll appropriately apply with the City of Boston Licensing Board. Until then, he is going to make sure that he does not exceed his capacity in the future. He's asking for your mercy regarding the remaining violations. He's not had any violations on his record until now. He's actively working to rectify these issues and put processes in place so this does not happen again. He's going to apply for all necessary permits and licenses, including entertainment, and will ensure that these violations do not happen again. And I also have a meeting scheduled with them that I'm going out to the property next week to go over all of the licenses and any required applications that they do have to file to be in compliance. If you have any questions, they're happy to answer anything.
Thank you, Attorney Allen. Chairwoman Joyce, any questions?
Do you have any comment for why you had 70 people in there when you, even if you thought it was 37? I mean, that's a real public safety hazard. Fire hazard, lots of hazards.
You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm saying the question to him in Spanish.
Yeah.
So he says that he trained the security to keep count for 37. He understands that they were way over capacity. He says that and actually I had just left. The security was allowing, like, let's say friends to go in and we had a conversation with them. We had a conversation with the security company as well.
So you have a third-party security company?
Yes,
Okay, are you currently open?
we are currently open.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Commissioner Saxon, Commissioner Curran?
I have nothing to add, thank you.
Nothing, no questions, thanks.
Thank you. The board will take this matter under advisement and calling item number 9, which concerns the same licensee, Grove Hall Food Corp., doing business as Grove Hall Convenience Market, located at 479 Blue Hill Ave in Dorchester. Date of this incident, March 30th, 2024. Bottle service in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64. Overcrowding 50, found on mechanical count, capacity 16, in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.03J, 1.06A and F, and blocked fire exits in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.06A. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Jennifer Allen again for the licensee.
Thank you, Attorney Allen, and the same witnesses as the prior incident?
Yes, Mrs. Guerrero and Edward Guerrero also.
Thank you. And who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
I am Detective Hernandez.
Thank you, Detective Hernandez. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify?
Sergeant Detective William Gallagher, if need be.
Thank you very much. Can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do. I do.
Thank you, Detective Hernandez. If you could please proceed with the police report.
Good morning. I'll be reading from a police report, which I wrote on Saturday, March 30th, 2024. Assigned Detective William Gallagher, Detective Eddie Hernandez, assigned to the BPD License Premise Unit, along with inspectors from the Inspectional Service Department, conducted license premise inspection of the Grove Hall Convenience. This inspection was also in regards to a complaint that the establishment was conducting bottle service. As detectives walked into the convenience store and into the door to the restaurant area, they were met by security staff. Detectives and inspectors were told that they would have to wait because they were at capacity. Detectives asked what the count of patrons inside the establishment was. The security staff could not provide a number. While Detective Hernandez maneuvering his way through the very crowded room to perform a count of patrons, he encountered a blocked and locked fire exit. Detectives then observed that as the patrons realized that the inspectors were in the establishment, the crowd started to leave the area. Detective Hernandez was able to count approximately 50 patrons that were now left in the room. Detectives discovered the actual number of patrons allowed in the premises at 16 patrons. Detectives also noticed that there was a DJ playing music. This activity is not allowed under the current conditions of the entertainment license. While detectives did observe that every table did have buckets of beer bottles, they did not see any bottle service being provided. Detectives brought this to the attention of the person in charge, Mr. Eduardo Guerrero. As a result of what detectives observed, Sergeant Detective Gallagher issued the license permit inspection order 021046 for overcrowding of the establishment, having a DJ performing while not under the conditions of the entertainment license of the blocked fire exit. Mr. Guerrero signed for and accepted the notice. It should be noted that ISD did close the establishment due to numerous ISD violations. That's all.
Thank you very much. Attorney Allen, would you like to address the alleged incident?
I'd just like to reiterate what I did say for the last violation, that I have reviewed the rules and regulations with them. To make it clear, they will also not be having bottle service. They understand that they would need to apply for this license. The fire exits, and they went over with staff as well to ensure that the fire exits are not to be locked or blocked in any way. Regarding the entertainment license, he had applied and it's the entertainment license, but then realized it was only for a one-day entertainment license. We're already in the process of filing for a standard entertainment license, so that way he will be in compliance. So, and again, he has not had any violations prior to this. So if you have any questions, they're happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Chairwoman Joyce, any questions?
When was the one-day entertainment license granted?
I am not positive. Do you guys
We can look it up.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. I have no questions.
No questions for me, thank you.
Commissioner Saxon?
None from me, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much. The board will take this matter under advisement as well. And calling item number 10, Fogo de Chao Churrascaria Boston LLC, doing business as Fogo de Chao Churrascaria, located at 200 Dartmouth Street. Date of the incident, December 25th, 2023. Intoxicated underage patron on premise in violation of Mass General Law, Chapter 138, Section 64. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Good morning, Attorney Neil Mooney with Hurwitz, Richard and Sensabaugh. And I'm also here with my colleague, Attorney Sam Richard. And we have two witnesses for the licensee who are also present, Luis Carmona and Maria DePina. They are together on one screen, I believe. And we've also submitted 3 exhibits today that we request the commissioner's review.
Thank you. I do see both of you are witnesses on screen, and the exhibits have been shared with the commissioners. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Detective William Gallagher.
Detective Hernandez if needed.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify on this matter?
Yeah, Rachel Fontaine, I'm the mother of the person who was served underage.
Thank you, Ms. Fontaine. Can all those who plan to testify please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Sergeant Detective Gallagher, if you could please proceed with the police report.
Yes, good morning. I'll be reading from a report that Cadet Nunez wrote at about 10:59 a.m. on Friday, January 11th, 2023. Cadet Nunez, while assigned to the front desk of Boston Police Station District 4, was approached by an individual who wanted to file an investigative person report. The reporting party, Rachel Fontaine, stated that on 12/25/24 at 9 p.m., she had a reservation at Fogo de Chao, located at 200 Dartmouth Street, Boston, Mass. The victim stated that her daughter, Alana, ordered what she believed to be a fancy mocktail lemonade. Reporting party added her daughter was never asked for an ID in order to get served alcohol. Reporting party stated that she had video of her daughter passed out on a table after drinking 2 of the mocktails. Next report is my report. It starts on 2/5/2024 at about 9:30 p.m. Sergeant Detective William Gallagher, Detective Eddie Hernandez, assigned to the licensed premise unit, responded to Fogo de Chao, 200 Dartmouth Street, to speak to staff about an incident that had occurred on 12/25 at about 9 p.m. The incident, which was reported at BPD Station District 4 by Mrs. Fontaine, states on 12/25 she had dinner at Fogo de Chao, 200 Dartmouth Street. During that dinner, her 20-year-old daughter was served 2 alcoholic drinks and passed out at the table during dinner. BPD report 242-003-119. Ms. Fontaine.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but she's only 19. So,
I'm
sorry.
Fontaine informed detectives that she thought the drinks her daughter were ordering were non-alcoholic, not discovering that they were till her daughter passed out and she checked the bill. Ms. Fontaine states her daughter was never asked for ID prior to service, and that her daughter informed her that she thought she was ordering a mocktail. Ms. Fontaine was able to provide detectives with a video showing her daughter passed out at the table and a copy of the receipt with her 2 $17 cocktails that her daughter drank. Detectives talked to the manager, Luis Carmona, and Maria Mendez, who were looking into obtaining video of the incident. As a result, what observed Sergeant Detective Gallagher issued a licensed premise inspection notice number 018060 to Fogo de Chao for intoxicated underage patron on premise. Miss Maria Mendez signed for and accepted the notice. I believe we did send the board the video that was forwarded to us along with the copy of the bills, and that's all we have. Behind me, I do have a copy of the bill if the board doesn't have it, and that was forwarded to licensing board. That's it.
Thank you very much. Attorney Mooney, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yeah, I have a few questions for the sergeant, if I may. Sergeant, the last video you referred to that was submitted, is that the video that was allegedly taken by Ms. Fontaine, or was that provided to you by the restaurant?
We do have both. The video that I forwarded to the board was the video that Ms. Fontaine sent us, and we did receive a video from the restaurant. It was kind of inconclusive. I'm not sure if that had been passed on to the board or not.
Well, it hasn't been passed on to me, the video from Ms. Fontaine. Would you mind briefly describing what it shows you?
Yeah, it shows a female with her face down on the table. Looks like she's passed out, and you can see that they're inside the restaurant.
You confirm that that video was taken in the restaurant? It appears to be the same premises?
Yes, it does, sir.
How long is this video duration wise?
Oh, couple seconds, 15, 20 seconds maybe. And there's also audio with it too. You can hear her mother, chastising her daughter. And
Well, is it possible that she wasn't passed out and just happened to be resting her head on her arms?
that would be your conclusion, sir. I'm just going what the video shows and what Ms. Fontaine states in the video.
Okay, are you aware of whether the minor received any medical attention that evening?
Not to my knowledge, so no.
So EMS didn't respond to this incident, is that right?
They did not.
Okay. And you went back to interview the FOGO managers after the date of your February 5th report, is that correct, sir?
We've been back a couple of times, sir, at least twice.
Okay, did you review the security video from the restaurant at that time?
We did, sir.
Did you draw any conclusions about what it showed you?
I can speak to that. I can speak to that, sir. The video that they provided was not the video that we needed. They gave us a completely different area, which was not anywhere where we wanted to see. We could see from the video that we got from the mother and the video we got from FOGO the child was a completely different area. So I think they focused on a different area. We've been trying to get the video focusing on that because there are cameras in that area, and they did not provide us that video yet, sir.
What area in your view, are you lacking video of?
It's the area where the table was, sir. We could see where the table was over by where there were some serving areas, smaller serving area, and that's not the video that we got of that table, sir.
Okay, did they
We
show
got a
you?
different we have a different table.
Sorry, are you finished, sir?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, sorry.
It's
Did
okay.
they show you video that they described showing the female minor leaving the premises?
No, sir.
Okay.
We've been trying to get that video. We just haven't had any cooperation.
Well, we've submitted video that I'll put it in with our managers later on. I think it's our intent to cooperate. There seems to be a miscommunication here. Do you know how many persons were in Ms. Fontaine's party that night, or is she the person I should ask
There
about
were
that?
four
There were
persons.
four?
Yes.
And how many adults and how many minors in that party?
3 and 1.
How many alcoholic beverages appear on the receipt? If you can tell.
Ms. Fontaine is on this Zoom. She
Right.
could also
Okay.
speak to that. I don't know why she hasn't put her camera on and isn't speaking towards us. She was
Uh,
actually there.
The receipt's kind of wrinkled. You really can't.
I'm sorry, yeah, it was only one alcoholic drink. I had a glass of wine and my friend had a Coke. Her boyfriend had like a strawberry daiquiri virgin, and then she ordered that drink. That super fruit lemonade is what it was called. Exactly.
Okay, I'd like to ask a couple more questions of the police officers, then I'm glad to hear from
Sorry.
Ms. Fontaine. I assume she wants to testify, so we can move this along.
Thank you, Attorney Mooney. Ms. Fontaine, you will certainly have an opportunity to provide your testimony.
I don't mean to interrupt you, ma'am. The incident occurred Christmas night, but the complaint wasn't made to D4 until January 12th. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Did Ms. Fontaine provide any explanation to you regarding why it took 18 days for her to file the complaint?
No, sir, she did not.
I just got
I'd like
completely
the sergeant
cut from the
to
conversation.
answer. I'd prefer if the sergeant answered the question.
I just didn't hear the last
Ms. Fontaine, you will have a moment to provide your testimony following this line of questioning.
She walked
Proceed.
District 4, sir. I know she lives north of the city. We didn't think to ask her. We didn't think it was relevant or important. We just followed up on it when it came our way.
Okay, did you ever interview her daughter, the minor?
No, sir, I did not. Just mother.
Okay. Do you interact with this licensee on a regular basis?
Usually we're in there once a year, sir, at the most.
Okay. I'm a little confused based on the report and the violation. What is the specific conduct by the licensee that resulted in the violation?
Well, sir, there's an intoxicated underage patron on premise.
Okay, is it alleged that she was unlawfully served?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know which beverage on the list of 4 beverages in the receipt? Did you make any determination about which one that the minor was served?
I believe the mother just stated that, sir.
Okay, but at the time you issued the violation, Sergeant, that's what I mean.
Yes, we were told which beverage it was.
Do you know which one it is?
Yeah, that's the $16 one, the lemonade.
Did you talk to the other 2 members of the party, 2 males?
No, sir, we just talked to the mother.
Do you know how old those individuals are?
They're over 21, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'll hold, that's all I have for the officers for now. We can proceed. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Talk.
Attorney Mooney, do you have questions for your witnesses?
I didn't know if Ms. Fontaine had something to say. I'm glad to hear from her, or I would ask her a few questions if she doesn't.
Thank you, Attorney. We generally hear from the licensee first, unless.
Okay,
Attorney
that's
Chris
fine.
would like to take this
But
out.
I'd like to have the 2 managers come on, Mr. Carmona and Ms. Pina. I'll start with you, Luis. Could you state your name for the record, please?
Luis Carmona, General Manager.
Where do you work and what is your job title?
Fogo de Chão Brazilian Steakhouse here in Boston, 200 Dartmouth Street, and General Manager.
And how long have you worked there in that role?
Here in Boston since October, and then for Fogo since October 2015.
Okay, so you worked in another Fogo prior to working on Dartmouth Street?
Yes, I've been Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, New Orleans, and Houston, Texas.
Okay, were you working on Christmas night 2023?
Yes.
We submitted a photograph and some video with our exhibits for this hearing. Are you familiar with what was submitted?
Yes.
What are those showings? If you could explain for the commission what in your view those are showing.
So we show that the 4 individuals arrived. You know, they had the experience, they had dinner. You can see them go up to the market table multiple times. You can also see them towards the end, them exiting. It appears that 2 of the older individuals leave first, then they leave the 2 younger ones there. Then the youngest or the third adult leaves as well, and they leave the lady or the girl there by herself towards the very end. But you could see them on video exiting under their own will.
How long were they at the restaurant approximately?
About an hour and 5-10 minutes.
Did you have occasion to speak to Ms. Fontaine that night?
I did not. I was around the area, kind of walking around monitoring. But I believe Maria did interact with her.
Okay, did you have occasion to speak to her subsequent to that night? For example, did she phone the restaurant for any reason?
Yes, I believe the day or 2 after the incident, she called, and it was the initial, I spoke with her. So our protocol for that is gather as much information as possible, ask us or ask the customer to allow us to have 24 to 72 hours to investigate, talk to manager on site, server on site, and then communicate back to her. And then she continued to call every day, and even insisted that we do a refund, a full refund right away. But I told her our protocol is to, gather as much information as possible. And if not, then we can definitely forward it to our guest relations.
So she requested a full refund for the meal?
Correct.
And approximately how much was the meal? I know it's on the receipt, but if you want to look at the receipt.
It was 4 dinners, 2 alcoholic beverages and a non-alcoholic beverages. And then a glass of wine. So I think it was
All right, I'll represent the
$300.
receipt. states $335.71. Does that sound accurate?
Correct, and they paid 100 in cash and then the rest on the card.
Okay, and does that include a gratuity?
No,
So did the restaurant get any tip on this meal?
no gratuity was left.
Okay. And there were 4 persons in Ms. Fontaine's party,
Correct,
and there were 4 beverages served as reflected in the receipt. Is that correct?
correct.
And how many of those were alcoholic beverages?
3.
I'm going to turn to Ms. DePina. You were working that night as well,
Yes, sir.
and you're also a manager in the restaurant.
Yes, I'm assistant manager here.
Did you observe the party that evening?
Yes, I did.
And you've looked at the receipt that's been entered as an exhibit in this matter, is that correct?
Yes,
There were 4 drinks listed of it, as I've mentioned. The Seeker Red Blend, is that a glass of wine?
yes.
Who ordered the glass of wine?
I guess it was the lady. The lady?
Okay, and there was 2 Superfruit lemonades. Are those alcoholic beverages?
The superfood lemonade, yes. Brazilian lemonade, no.
Okay, who ordered the Superfruit lemonade, the alcoholic lemonades?
The young guy. I think the boyfriend.
Was he with the minor person?
Yes, they 4 on the table.
Okay, and is the Brazilian lemonade that also appears on the receipt, is that an alcoholic beverage?
No alcohol.
Would that be referred to as a mocktail?
Mocktail, yes.
Okay,
That
who ordered that?
the daughter, the young lady.
Okay, was the daughter served any alcohol by the restaurant that night?
No,
And you're sure she wasn't served alcohol?
100%.
What about you, Mr. Carmona?
I was not around the table. I was just let known of the situation and I did get to see them exiting, but no, I believe no alcohol was served.
Okay, back to you then, Ms. DePina. Did you observe the daughter passing out or in any kind of medical distress that evening?
No,
Did you ever see her put her head on her arms on the table?
I didn't see that. I just see they was having an argument on the table.
Who was having an argument?
The mom, well, all of them, they was talking, the mom and daughter, and then the boyfriend as well.
Did you have occasion to speak to the mom that night, December 25th?
Yes, I was walking by, she called me, she said, hey, I have to leave the restaurant. She was talking, she was having an argument with the daughter. She come at me, she said, I need my bill, we have to leave. She was mad at the daughter, like so mad, they're having an argument. She was like so mad at the daughter.
Did she express any concerns to you regarding her daughter's health?
No,
Did she express to you any concerns or any belief that her daughter had been served alcohol by the restaurant?
no,
Did you observe, or did you later observe on security footage the daughter leaving the restaurant?
yeah, living normal by herself.
So when you say normal by herself, was the daughter able to leave under her own power?
Yes.
Did she require any assistance walking?
No, she was acting like normal.
Did she go up and down any stairs?
Yes,
Was she able to negotiate the stairs without assistance?
yes. And then
Did
she
she
come
open
back,
it-
she using, open the door, she using her phone, and she come back and she come again upstairs.
And you reviewed the video, and the video indicates her going up and down the stairs at approximately 10 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And would you agree that the party arrived at approximately 9 p.m.?
yes, around 9.
Okay. That's all my questions for these 2 witnesses. Thank you.
Thank
Can I,
you.
sir, please, sir, because I have to go into work and I'm late for work. I'm supposed to be there at 12 o'clock and this is terrible. I cannot believe the lies that those people just told. I am like, I get bad anxiety. And when I tell you I am freaking out in my car right now, I can't even get out of it, of all the lies that they just told. I left my daughter there. I was mad at her because I thought she had done something. I'm sorry. I thought she had done something. So I was angry. That's why we were arguing. I didn't even know at that point it was an alcoholic drink. I just couldn't get over the price. I didn't even know until I got in my car. We went out looking for my car and they kept calling me saying, your daughter's very intoxicated. You need to come get her. And I said, I know she is. I'm trying to find my car. And then her boyfriend left her, in which I sent him back. So he ended up going back there. Okay. And yes, they did. He drank the non-alcoholic beverage. My daughter was the one taking pictures of the beverages in front of her. I also sent them those pictures. She ordered those 2 beverages. Okay. She did. He ordered the non-alcoholic beverage. My friend ordered the Coke, and you can see at the table when in the picture that I even sent them where the drinks were set up and where we were sitting. They are lying through their teeth. I can't believe it. And can she say she didn't know what was going on? There was a huge commotion. Even guests were getting involved because we ordered dessert. And then when she passed out on her plate, I said, oh my God, I thought she did something, like took a pill. I don't know. I didn't know what she did. But as a mother, I was pissed. I wanted her to see herself the next day. That's why I took that video. Not even because I thought she got served underage. Okay. So then when we got in my car, she goes, Mommy, I think they did have alcohol in them. And I called them immediately and they did nothing but avoid me. They gave me a dummy number that I called over and over and over. They said it was their, HR or whatever it is. Listen, I've been in the restaurant industry for 29 years. I'm going into work right now. I'm a waitress. I know how serious it is. Is anybody hearing me? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you didn't move. Sometimes my phone stalls. But I know how serious it is to card anybody that looks under the age of 40 even, okay? I've been doing this 29 years. That's why I didn't even expect or think that this lady had served my daughter underage. I had no clue. We were all clueless. Everybody was. I mean, was she? She says that she was. I don't know. She's 19. But that doesn't defeat the fact that they served her alcohol. And I was getting mad at her, and the fighting was on Christmas Day, mind you. Christmas Day, and we hadn't had Christmas together in years. Okay? So that was supposed to be a meaningful day for me, and that was completely ruined. I didn't, and the reason I was calling to say the bill, because I know what's going to happen, what will happen to a restaurant when they serve underage. So I didn't want to put them through this. I'm not trying to sue anybody or, get anybody's license taken away. I said, you know what? Just pay my bill. And he said to me, I'm sorry, ma'am, we can't take alcoholic beverage off the bill as per, Massachusetts law. And I know that is a law. I said, but you served my underage daughter those drinks. They never said anything about they had to do an investigation and then they would get back to me. And if they did, why didn't they get back to me? Nobody did. They avoided me. They completely avoided me. I tried so many times to call them. That's why finally I said, okay, I guess I'm going to have to go report this to the police department. And that's why it took so long. So, and for them to say all those, like they didn't see her leaving, as a matter of fact, if I can scroll back far enough, I don't know if my phone will do that. There's the numbers of them calling me to say, your daughter is so intoxicated. Come and get your daughter. And I said, I know that. That's why she couldn't come walk with me to the car. Still thinking that she had taken something. So, I don't even know because I wanted to rebuttal on almost everything they were saying, but I can't remember every single thing that they said. But they just lied through their teeth, and I cannot believe that lady, what she just said. No, that's not. There's plain pictures to see where the drinks are lined up in front of the people that I sent to the detective. He has all the pictures, the video that was like 25 seconds long with me like scrolling all around, showing where we were. We were by the main eating area. How are you going to tell me there's no video footage? That's what they told me. We don't have footage for that area. I said, there's no video footage for the main area where people are eating, and we were right by there. How is there no video footage? They're lying. They're just lying. I'm devastated over this. My daughter, just what we've been dealing with ever since this. Look at me. I'm late for work, sitting outside. I'm sure I'm not going to get in trouble when I let them know, but it doesn't matter. I should be making money right now, and they're stopping me from doing that because I have to be here sticking up for myself and my daughter and anybody else that goes to that restaurant that probably gets served because they want to up their check average to get a better tip. And yes, I did leave a tip. That's a lie. I didn't leave a 20% tip, but I left her $25. So that they lied about that as well. So
Thank
that's
you,
all
Ms.
I have to say. I'm just absolutely, I couldn't believe my ears, and it took everything I had in me not to chime in, sir. But I am so upset at the lies that I just heard from these people. I just can't believe it. And if they're doing that to my daughter, how many other underage people have they served? That's what I think about.
Thank you, Ms. Fontaine, and thank you for your testimony. We will see now if the board has questions for the licensee, Ms. Fontaine, or for the officers. We'll start with Chairwoman
If you could
Joyce.
start with me first, so I could please go into work if anybody has a question for me.
No objection. That's fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for your testimony and for joining us today. I don't have any questions for you.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing me. Finally, somebody.
Sure.
Commissioner Carn or Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions for Ms. Fontaine?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Attorney Mooney, did you have any questions for Ms. Fontaine?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do feel though that I should be compensated for that bill. If nothing, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but even if they do lose their license, I should not have to pay for that bill. I mean, I should be compensated in some way for having to deal with this and what I've been going through.
Thank you, Ms. Fontaine. That would not be under the jurisdiction of this board, but
Oh, okay, well,
thank you for that.
Yeah.
See if the board has any questions for the licensee or for the Boston Police Department.
I don't have any questions at this time.
Commissioner
May I
Carn,
just
Commissioner
very
Saxon.
Briefly be heard? Briefly, I know we've running over. Ms. Fontaine.
Attorney Mooney,
mentioned-
1 second.
Sure, sorry.
So just in regards for questions to Boston Police, are you still in possession of the video that was submitted by Ms. Fontaine?
I believe we have, sir. I thought we forwarded it to the board some time ago. I believe we still have it. It does show the table. I haven't viewed it for over a month or so I'm not up to date on like the glass placement and stuff like that, but it clearly
I have
shows.
it. I still have it.
Oh, good.
Danny, do we have it?
I do not have that. Ms. Fontaine, if you could send that video to licensingboard@boston.gov. And if it's possible to do that today, that way we can make sure that the board has it in their possession before the vote.
Okay, so I'm kind of stupid when it comes to that stuff. So it's literally just boston.gov.
It's
That's the
licensing
email
board,
address?
all one word, licensingboard@boston.gov.
Licensing board at boston.gov and send you the videos. Okay, I get out of work at 4 o'clock, so I'll do it when I get out of work.
Great, thank you.
Okay, and Attorney Mooney regarding other videos, and this could be just what's in our.
Oh, Commissioner Carn, you've muted yourself.
All right, sorry. I'm clicking over to other folders, so it muted me. Attorney Mooney,
Yes,
the videos you've been referencing in my file that I'm seeing so far, all I'm seeing is a 4-way video kind of taken in a portrait mode, like vertical. Is that what you've submitted to us so far, or have you submitted other stuff to us?
we can submit additional videos for the purpose of this hearing. We submitted 3 exhibits, including the receipt, which we've already discussed. There's one photograph that that Fogo's position shows the young lady with her companion walking after their meal. And there's also security video footage dated at 10 o'clock p.m. that shows the minor exiting through a door next to the revolving doors out of the restaurant, descending a flight of stairs, and then approximately a minute later coming back up the stairs. And as has already been testified to, doing that on her own without not in any apparent distress and without any need of apparent assistance. And I'd also point out the receipt. There were 4 persons in this party, 3 adults and 1 minor, and 3 alcoholic beverages were served. They were only in the restaurant for 1 hour. And I do not believe that this is a serious allegation, a serious charge, and the licensee takes this very seriously. I'm not aware of any other violations by this licensee. And I would submit that we have a conflicting versions of events, obviously. But I think that the testimony of the two managers that apparently contradicts the testimony of Ms. Fontaine bears the weight of evidence. I'm not doubting the work of the police here, but they're not firsthand witnesses to this alleged violation. We're glad to provide any additional video or that we have, but I think what I provided was the clearest that we had, and that's why, in the interest of economy, that's why we restricted it to 3 exhibits.
Okay,
Thank you.
regarding the video that I've been able to see so far, I can't really see anything. The format that it's in, the 4-way, I mean, it's minuscule. So if you could submit, full-size video, individual camera angles, I'd appreciate it. And not just the exit, but anything you have at the table, I'd appreciate.
Well, there's only 2 portions of the video that I think are relevant, and because I understand what you're saying, I should have been more clear about this. The beginning of the video is approximately 4 minutes long, and not all 4 minutes are relevant. Most of it isn't. From the beginning of the video until approximately the 22-second mark, and I mean, I can have the witnesses testify to it if we can bring it up. I'm not sure if we have the means to do that here. Is that feasible?
What do you mean?
The video that we are claiming shows.
Yeah, the video you submitted, you think it's relevant because it shows her walking out under her own power, right? Not stumbling?
Correct.
Okay, but there's a whole other time period while she's seated at the table. Do you have any video for that?
Do we have any, Louise, do we have any video of her seated at the table that's clear?
Here at Fogo, we have our market table, right? It's a long salad bar where they serve themselves, and there's a hot bar. So they're seated behind the hot bar. So the angle of the camera facing that, you can not see the table, but you can see them once they get seated, stand up, come to the market table multiple times, and then go back to sit down. And then that's where the meat service comes in. So that's in the video as well. And then you could see them also exiting where they get up from the table and then begin to exit, and they don't all exit together. The parents leave first, and then the boyfriend leaves next, and then the daughter is the last one to leave. So she's alone there for maybe 5-10 minutes where she walks down the stairs, comes back up multiple times, and then finally leaves on her own.
Okay, my final question, I think, right now would be, were all parties seated at the table ID'd when alcohol was ordered?
So the daughter was not ID'd because she ordered a non-alcoholic beverage. And then speaking to the server did not ID the adults because she felt like they were over 21.
So no ID was done at all?
No, sir.
Okay, that's all I have for the moment.
Commissioner Saxon, any questions?
Do you guys watch out for pass-offs? An adult could have ordered the alcoholic beverage and then passed it off to the underage.
We have 4 managers. I'm the general manager, and I have 3 assistant managers. So on a holiday, we divide the floor. So Maria, one of the assistant managers, has a section, so they follow up with the tables, make sure the table's good, and talk to the tables. And we always like to monitor any issues with the table and try to just be transparent. So we check every table, yes.
And have you changed any of your policies or procedures since this incident?
So at any shift we work here, we have pre-shift meetings as management, leadership team, and then also department meetings. So for servers, we do like offer any specials on the menu, go over the menu, what we're out of, and then also just to make sure that they have all their materials or if they have any questions before they begin their shifts. And that's just been the protocol throughout Fogo.
I would just say as a matter of comment, you should ID all of your patrons, especially in mixed company, to ensure that there's no mistake about who is underage and who is, old enough to drink alcohol. There should be some kind of ID.
So if any server has a questions, and managers are always on the floor, we try to address any questions or any concerns immediately. So we always, as management, we're also monitoring drinks being sold, wines being sold and open at the table. And if we feel, we're also firsthand with the guests. So if we feel something is out of order, we try to identify and then also address. And I think I think FOGA does a good job in doing that. And we do ask for IDs. And then part of our pre-shift meetings post this is that we did say, hey, any doubt, any question, let us know. Managers are also checking tables, and we need to ID, is what we communicated to the team.
Are there any further questions from the board at this time? Okay, and Attorney Mooney and Mr. Kamada, Mr. Pina, is the board expecting further videos from the licensee on this matter? Or do we already have what you have planned to submit?
We have additional videos that we can email this afternoon. I think they would require navigation. Commissioner Curran makes a good point. It's hard to figure out what's going on just by looking at a 4-minute video. The ones we provided, I felt,
it's
provided
mainly
most
the
clarity.
for the what's been submitted so far. It's really the size of it. It's submitted in a 4-way, and that 4-way is not even the full screen. It's a very small portion of the screen.
Agreed, and I don't know if that can be narrowed down, scoped down to, I don't know if technologically, I can look into that today. I don't know, Commissioner, I apologize for that.
Thank you. Anything that is sent will be disseminated to the board as soon as I receive it. Anything further from the board at this time? Okay, with that, the board will take this under advisement as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all the items before the board that will adjourn this hearing. The board is set to vote tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Notice has been posted to the city's website. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your day.